Excellent stuff. Live in session here on Six Music, Brian Bilston and the Catenary Wires with, firstly, 31 Rules for Midlife Rebellion, and that was followed by Might Have, Might Not Have, and there are two more tunes to come. Brian, would you mind introducing the rest of the band, please?
Yeah, of course. So on drums, we've got Ian Button.
Yes.
And then we've got Bob Collins on guitar. We've got someone called Amelia Fletcher also on guitar and vocals.
Hello.
And Rob Percy on the bass and vocals.
And you're all welcome and sounding splendid from the BBC's Maida Vale studios. Well done on the record you've made, Brian. You're known as a poet, but these are songs. These are not poems set to music, and it's important to emphasise that, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, they all started off as poems, but then they've become something else. I sent off a bunch of poems to Rob, and I don't know, there was some sort of alchemy went on, and they changed into something else with the end result that we're now kind of here playing them on like the radio and going out and playing them in front of people. So it's like it's a very weird thing that's happened.
Even before that, it must have been slightly weird because I know you're a big fan of Sarah Records, and here you are making a record with Rob and Amelia and touring with them as well. Did you have any trouble getting your head around that scenario?
Yeah, we had our first gig on Friday night, and there was a moment when I was on stage and I kind of looked and saw Rob and Amelia there and thought back to when I was about 19, and I went out and bought the very first Heavenly single on Sarah Records, and I just played that single to death, and it was a very surreal moment.
Rob, can you tell us about your side of things when it came to working with Brian and how these songs took shape from your point of view?
Yeah, well, I was aware of Brian's poetry during lockdown. I think I first became aware of it, and at the time I liked it because I thought the poems did remind me of pop song lyrics because they were short and they were to the point. They were emotional. I don't know, they were very powerful without appearing to try too hard, and also I like the fact that he'd just gone ahead and published them independently, and I felt that made him feel like a kindred spirit. So you weren't waiting to get a deal or a publisher. You just do it. Anyway, we realised we had a lot in common, and I talked to him, and we became friends, really, and then I suggested that maybe it wouldn't be ridiculous for me to try turning his poems, or some of them, into songs. And he was brave or foolish enough to let me try it.
And it seems to have given you an opportunity to write those songs in various musical styles, Rob, as well. I mean, that's really comes through from this record.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, I didn't want it all to be just here's some poems and here's some indie music, and it, like some of the poems seem to lend themselves to a genre, if you know what I mean. So there's a couple of you could call them heavy ones. I mean, there's a bombastic one called "When I Grow Old, I Will March, Not Shuffle." And I think the poem is clever because it is angry, but it's also makes fun of itself. So I turned it into a kind of rock song, which is also somewhat self-parodic, I suppose.
Amelia, hello.
Hello.
Did you have?
I'm echoey.
Oh, are you? I'm sorry about that. I'm not putting extra reverb on from this end. Okay. Is it any better now? Are you able to? Okay. Did you have any idea of how this record would end up sounding when you first heard about it, so to speak?
No, I think I probably did think it would sound more indie. Actually, it sounds more proper, and I thought, it would have less singing on it actually, and more just poems being spoken. But actually, the way in which everything's melded into turning poems into songs, I don't know. It's not what I expected, but it's really good.
It's really good, and the way that your voices work together as well, with the splendid oohs we just heard on Might Have, Might Not Have. That I really like that from this record as well.
I'm good at an ooh.
Good. It's a very important skill to have. Now, without getting too involved in this, but here goes. This is a Catenary Wires collaboration rather than a Swansea Sound or even a Heavenly collaboration as well. What's the thought process to bring us to that point?
Well, I think that basically if it involves me singing, for better or worse, then it has to be the Catenary Wires.
It's certainly not Heavenly.
It's definitely not Heavenly. And Swansea Sound is definitely Hugh as the lead vocalist. And the songs, I suppose they were kind of more Well, they started more in a slightly more melancholic. I mean, the first ones that we put together were the more melancholic ones, and then on this LP, and then so they sounded more like the Catenary Wires as people might have known them. But then as I got bolder and Brian got less scared of what I was up to, they became more eclectic. I don't know what they sound like now.
Brian, there's a great interview with you and with Rob and Amelia in Louder Than War. You talk about Stephen Merritt being someone whose songwriting you admire. What is it about him, about Magnetic Fields, that you like?
I think it's partly the wordplay. I do like anyone who can construct a good pun, and but also, I think it's that combination, the sort of bittersweet combination of kind of writing a love song but making it funny, which always kind of captures my heart.
I'm going to break one of the big rules here. I'm going to read somebody else's tour dates in the middle of your session, but I will read yours later on because Magnetic Fields are playing 69 love songs, and it's sort of in a series of 2-night shows. Bristol Beacon on the 29th and 30th of this month, then the 2nd and 3rd of October at the Union Chapel in London, and Brighton Dome on the 5th and the 6th. Sorry, and back to you, but that's definitely worth getting along to. You've mentioned the show and the whole business, Brian, of playing live, and that's okay, is it? Are you comfortable with that, with the tour coming up as well?
Well, I think I will be when it comes around. So, I mean, I'm used to being on stage these days and kind of reading poems, but fronting a band is a very strange thing for me. I've been in bands before, but I've been the kind of bass player at the back, really, trying to creep back behind the curtain. So being there, kind of centre stage, is new and slightly perplexing. But the theatre's a book now, so I don't have a choice.
As good a reason as any. Mm. And Rob and Amelia, this is a question and not an advert, but you set up Skepwax a few years ago. Has it been a good experience so far? Have you ever regretted it?
There have been a couple of times, I think, where you've got 100 things to pack and it's midnight, where you may think this is a slightly silly way to spend your life. But I quite like packing things. And on the whole, no, it's gone better than we could have expected, really. It's really exciting. You get as much of a buzz off one of the bands on the label getting played on the radio as your own band. So I guess that shows that it's worked.
And I've liked the feeling that we've created a bit of a community around it. You see the same people coming to shows, a bit like you used to get with Sarah Records, actually. Just people that like Skepwax stuff and are always going to be there. And we get a lot of emails from people. It just feels like we're creating a little pop underground.
Well, keep on keeping on. And can we have 2 more songs, please?